Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway for tonight's running, Race 4 of Season 3, the Dega Pros Little Guys Series. Qualifying on the racing surface right now. You see several guys running their laps over the course of the next 20 seconds as we set the field for tonight's fourth race of the season. We'll put 3 more drivers into our championship event. We've advanced 9 drivers already. We'll get to them in just a moment. But before we do that, introduce the first of my partners tonight, the man who has been up here for a few weeks now, and that is none other than Matthew Baker. Baker, good to see you. What are you expecting out of tonight's race?
Well, if it's anything like last week, it's going to be chaos with all the pit strategies. I'd love to see that again, but it's probably going to be a slugfest again between a lot of these guys. Not many teammates out here to run together. You got Aubrey Thompson and Raymond Hanneman that'll be running together. Kenneth Stamper and Thomas Parker, but a surprise on the pole. Steve Sizemore, the lowest I rating here, pulls out the pole. Very impressive.
Well, absolutely, and with that, we will get into your starting grid here from the Talladega Super Speedway, and we will start with the man on the pole in the 55.494 second lap for Steve Sizemore. Tonight wins the pole for this race. To his outside will be Kenneth Stamper Racing driver number 51, Thomas Parker. Row 2 be Logan York for Misfortune Motorsports in the 48. And the big man at KSR, Kenneth Stamper, making an appearance tonight. He'll start from 4th. Devin Ray is back in the Little Guys Series tonight in the 22. He rolls from 5th. Raymond Hanneman, we just talked about him in the 85. He'll roll from 6th. It'll be Aubrey Thompson for Barely Able Racing on the bottom of row number 4. To his outside, the Hyper Motorsports driver, Heat Job in the 760. Row 5 rounding out the top 10 will be Brock Westmoreland in the 4 and Danny Elsterman in the 26 from McCullough Motorsports.
Richard Elliott in 11th. Cole Fitzpatrick in 12th. Look for a good run from him trying to get to the front. William Fox, 13th. Ryan Based. He'll be another car that'll be working his way to the front. He's always up front in these races. Just hasn't been able to close the deal in the Little Guys Series this time, but I think tonight may be the night. Joey Galati in 15th. John Ward, our race control, not taking the grid tonight. Michael Clay going to be rolling off in 16th. And 17th, you got Jack Hignite. Look for him to start making his way to the front early. In 18th, Joseph Allen, Danny Barnes in 19th, and round out your field, Tyler Hickory in 20th.
We're right at 20. We're going to go off the flyer. 50.
So we are ready to get this one underway, and as we do, we'll show you the 2 drivers who are in our driver cams tonight. A modest 2, but we do have 2 in the field running driver cameras for this race. The first, the driver, the 02, the bright white, purple, and green machine. And that will be Richard Elliott. You see him here. He's ready to go. The full setup cam going for Richard Elliott tonight. A full view of the triple monitor setup going there. So look for him to get a good run tonight. The other driver we'll be watching decides not to run a qualifying lap, but a man we've seen up front quite a bit in this series, and that is Tyler Hickory. Running back here in the 124, decides to start shotgun on the field tonight. Ride it out, knowing it's a long race. We'll see how it pans out for him as well. Someone on the bottom looks like Joey Galati, a little bit late to get going, but he gets it underway. And so we got 2 drivers with driver onboard cameras tonight as we get ready to put them under the green flag for the first time. And real quick before we get going, we do welcome a special 3rd member of our broadcast team tonight. Just for some here and there color analysis tonight throughout the night, you'll hear from him, and that is Baker's teammate at MBG Motorsports, Matt Lee. Matt Lee, what's up? Glad you're hanging out for the first time up here with me. How you doing? What do you expect to see tonight?
Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, just gonna watch this race, see what's going on. You know, get a couple guys watching. Raymond Hanneman in the middle there, starting 6th. You know, he's been running really good lately. You know, there's a bunch of guys that, you know, you don't get to see in these big races. That's gonna be cool to watch.
Well, absolutely it will, and already 9 guys are in the championship race. We'll run through them really quickly for you. Dustin Carruthers of KSR, Trevor Osronath of KSR are locked in tonight as 3 of their teammates attempt to make that trip into the race here in tonight's race. Justin Mills advanced also in week number 1. Week 2 was all 3 McCullough Motorsports trucks, David Sheets, Austin Green, and Mark Vondell. And last week, Ron Morris joined his teammates in the championship race. Larry McDonald of Hyper Motorsports made it in, and Zach Range gets back to the championship race as well. 9 guys in, 6 spots left, plenty to settle, and we're going to do so right now. The field in the hands of the surprise pole sitter, Steve Sizemore, looking to get the tone set tonight. Pace truck takes the hard left turn to pit road, and we're about to get this one underway. Into the trial for the first time. We're so glad you have joined us. Nice audience here on the East Coast for this late at night. you've joined at the right time. 50 laps from Talladega. Little Guys Racing is back on here on a Monday night. Sizemore, Elliott, bring us into the restart zone. Green flag, we're racing from Talladega. Sizemore leads lap 1 as we hit the start-finish line. Lap 2 on the board here at Talladega, and a bit of a weird sight. Baker single file most of the way back. Last week they decided to race for a while at the beginning of this race. Tonight, a little bit opposite. They're going to go to the bottom and try to get it worked out for pit strategy, perhaps.
Yeah, I think they saw last week. They saw 4 people separate themselves for most of the race. They had a couple of miscues on the late pit stops, but they saw that they were able to get ahead on that strategy and try and make it to the end, and they want to gain that advantage and try and lock themselves in early. Person I would look forward to do that is probably Logan York. I know he's up here riding up front. He thinks he needs to be up there, but he knows he has to get near teammates. As you see on the outside right now, he went single file, but now here comes Cole Fitzpatrick and Jack Hignite. It didn't take him long to get up towards the front.
Absolutely no surprise. Cole Fitzpatrick moving his way through the field, and he is already battling for the race lead. He's back in the series tonight and making an instant impact. Move Cole Fitzpatrick to the race lead here into 1. Behind him, a couple other guys I didn't expect exactly to want to make a run at it early. Galati, Hignite. Oh, trouble. Around goes 1. Looked to be Aubrey Thompson in the 28. The Davey Allison-inspired scheme, but what a save. He gets onto the apron and is going to manage to keep the draft here. A long line of trucks going to benefit him, but it splits the field up here, and now Joey Galati, the odd man out, as these guys try to fan back into line.
You see the BAR guys trying to fall back, get their teammates, get them back up front. Great save by them. Great job by the field with good awareness to, avoid him on the apron, get him back in line. They're going to all line up here, and we're going to single file out, back out again, and see some fuel strategy here.
Well, we'll see if these guys decide to make it like last week with all the pit strategy that was going on. It created a serious bit of havoc for a few of our guys at the front, and what a race it ended up turning into last week when the second group that we thought was for sure out after the Hyper Motorsports trucks had to make an unscheduled stop and then had some problems, end up winning the race, and only one of the Hyper trucks ends up making it in out of all of that. Several still in this field tonight. Danny Barnes, Heath Job is in the field as well, and I know they have one other truck. It's slipping my mind right now, but at least 2 of their trucks in the field tonight that still have not advanced that you would think probably should have after last week's race. Instead, they have to race it out again here tonight, and you see automatically here come the Hyper trucks to the front. Heath Job wants to go, and he's going to draw a crowd along with him. Michael Clay up to the outside. Jack Hignite says, I'm ready to go too, and all of a sudden 2 wide once again to the stripe. Lap 5 goes on the board.
Surprise Cole Fitzpatrick is okay with falling in line. I think he is going to work well with Logan York. They've worked together before, so look for them to try and get on pit strategy together. But the odd man out, not many PGR guys around him. Brock Westmoreland in the 4-car. He's going to be a factor here. He'll push whoever he needs to the win as long as he's inside that top 3.
Absolutely, and a good note, by the way, that it is a new Team PGR edition, and Brock Westmoreland joins the team this past week, so good, interesting note here as we get into this race tonight for Brock Westmoreland. A lot to race for him tonight on multiple levels. Sizemore, man, he's been the most impressive guy on the racetrack. Wins the pole. He's led wire to wire just about, besides Cole Fitzpatrick leading for a moment, and he has surely impressed me. Logan York, Cole Fitzpatrick going to be content to ride till the pit stop here, I think. They're in a pretty good spot for when that first pit stop happens. Raymond Hanneman, he's settled in nicely as well. The men on the move, Michael Clay plus 11, Jack Hignite plus 14, Danny Barnes plus 8. A few guys going the other way, and it's mainly the KSR contingent that is towards the back of this field, and Kenneth Stamper and Thomas Parker. Now, I will say that I thought they were going back there to pick up Ryan Baste at the beginning of the race, but Ryan Baste is on the move. He's up to 10th. and still coming forward. So maybe just a bit of a split strategy here for the KSR boys.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan loves being up front. Some people are going to have different philosophies as teammates. He may not always think the same, but Ryan Bass is very methodical when he gets up front, but he does like to be up front on that bottom lane, third or second car on the bottom, pushing, controlling his own destiny. But like we said, Steve Sizemore leading wire to wire right now. Not often do you say that one truck has led every lap to start this race of a 50-lap race, but right now he's doing a great job, and he's got a great pusher in Logan York behind him. Looking at the same fuel strategy as before, I would look for maybe an undercut if a team really wants to try it, but there's not 4 trucks on a team together, so it's not going to be the same strategy that you saw last week with Hyper.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we've cut down the teams a little bit more this week, so expect a little bit more common strategy among these drivers as the teams become less and
call
less.
right there with Aubrey Thompson getting down into somebody.
Absolutely. I didn't even catch that. Good call back further back. They fan out a little bit towards the back end of this field, and that is the KSR contingent. Kenny Stamper and Thomas Parker, I guess, have had enough of riding at the back. They've got one more with them as well. I can't tell which truck that is. They do have at least one more running between those 2 trucks. So perhaps now trying to make a move to the front. We'll have to keep an eye on that contingent back there as they try to pick up their teammate Ryan Bass before this pit stop. And, yeah, they're still up on the outside line.
Can't really get any momentum going there on that outside lane. They got their 4th teammate, actually, in Devin Ray. He had been out for a couple weeks, and Dega Pros let back in along with Logan York today, and they're both going to be making the most of it here in this race. But still single file up front here. A little bit of steam lost by Michael Clay and Jack Ignite. Look for them to try and maybe find a spot in line and get ready for whatever is to come on these pit stops.
We are already past that Hyper short pit lap from last week. They pit on lap 5. Obviously backfired for them when they had some problems on pit road. KSR has gone all the way to the 3rd lane now. They're bypassing everybody. They are coming to the front and coming in a hurry. Obviously, they were waiting on something. Well, now they get the window they were looking for. They're going to bring a couple along with them. Looks to be Richard Elliott and Aubrey Thompson, the contingent from Barely Able Racing. So KSR surging to the front. What else is new? How many times we said that already this season? Thomas Parker looks to come to the front. He's got Devin Ray in tow, a new teammate for the KSR contingent here tonight in the 22. He's got that KSR banner. He's working with them. 4 KSR cars now inside the top 14. Oh, fanning off the backstretch. Somebody's had a problem further back. They're stacking up big time on the bottom, but everybody keeps it going. How about Thomas Parker to the lead in turn 3?
Raymond Hanneman got under Brock Westmoreland, really stacked up that bottom line. You're going to see why Logan York is considered one of the best pushers in this field right now. You see Devin Ray. Oh, here we go. Some pit stops. 2, 3, 4 trucks coming down pit road.
Steve Sizemore.
I don't know how well this one.
Oh, go ahead, Matt Lee.
I don't know how well this one's going to work out. You know, they were really spread out coming onto pit road right there, Baker.
Well, absolutely. Good call. They were very spread out. Sizemore, Eshelman, Joe Barnes come to pit road, so it is the Hyper group again. These 2 trucks that are still in this field tonight for Hyper decide to short pit again. I'm not sure I like the call. It didn't work for them last week. They decided to go to that call again this week, and I don't know. We'll have to see how it pans out. And it's really split up the field further back. A couple guys got the bad end of that stack up last time by.
Absolutely. They're going to come all off pit road together, though. That's going to help them when they get up to speed. They may have lost a little time off of that first pit stop, but this is going to force some hands of people to pit. I know it's really early in lap 10. I would think around lap 15 you want to run it all the way out, but these guys are going to make up a ton of time on these front 4 if that front 4 doesn't get hooked up enough.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking right now. Like Logan York right now, I think he's going to stay out till the end of the fuel window, and I think they're going to make a big chunk of time off of those guys that didn't get on pit road good.
Cole Fitzpatrick, I'll give him a lot of credit. He's pushing very well. Now, Brock Westmoreland's about a half truck length off his bumper here. Not ideal when you want to run fast lap times. Now, the other thing that doesn't help, Thomas Parker and Jack Hignite really side drafted hard, pulling those trucks backwards, killing their lap times just a little bit. We'll keep an eye on the times. Keep an eye on how much time they gain. I can tell you right now, not gaining any. That first group to come to pit road has been bleeding time since they came off the pit lane. They are not exactly all together. In fact, Danny Barnes completely lost the draft. Joe just now getting to it. Pit stops. This is most of the field. Here comes Parker, York, Fitzpatrick, Elliott, everybody except Jack Hignite, who is left alone on track. Let's make sure everybody gets in clean. Looks like they do. 3, 4 wide on pit road here. Very aggressive getting onto pit road. And unfortunately for the 07, his strategy is going to backfire on him as he is the only lone truck left on the racetrack.
It's a bummer for him being the only car to stay out. He may get some tag-alongs that miss the draft here off of pit road, but him and Danny Barnes are probably going to be the ones that are going to be pushing together towards the back of the pack. We see this other pack coming off pit road right now. The 0-1 having some problems here on pit road, but everyone else getting off clean.
Thomas Parker with some issues as well. He's still in his pit box here and unsure the issues on Thomas Parker's machine. And Richard Elliott leads the contingent off pit road. Here's the problem. They're all kinds of separated. Elliott got a great pit stop, so did Logan York, but maybe a little too good. They're not really connected here with the rest of the trucks that came to pit road. And the other group is starting to bypass trucks. Steve Sizemore, Eschleman, Job. They will pass a few trucks. They will not get to this lead pack. They're going to get awfully close. Looks like they're going to get within draft range. So still a good pit stop by that group. They make it work despite the fact they pit a few laps early and were separated. They're going to have the lead draft. But to the lead here in turn 3, Richard Elliott, Logan York, and Brock Westmoreland.
And again, we're spread out. Just like last time, it's the commentator's favorite race to call is a fuel strategy one, but it is the most hectic to stay on top of everything, looking around this track at all the times. You got 2.66 miles. You got to look around this track for all these trucks on different strategies, and you're going to see them all try and form up together here.
Yeah, I definitely think that group, that second group, they got lucky right there that first group wasn't able to make time. If they'd have made time, that group was in trouble.
Absolutely, and surprisingly, they don't. They get off pit road a little bit sloppy, and they allow that first group to get right back into this race. Hickory cedes the bottom for them to go on by. We'll see if he can maintain the draft right now. About 3/10 off the back bumper of Heath Job. Ryan based up to the outside, and all of a sudden we are getting racy here at the front of the field. For the lead, here comes Cole Fitzpatrick with Raymond Hanneman in tow. Aubrey Thompson comes with him. Then it's the KSR boys behind them, Ray Stamper and Ryan Based. Now, I do not see Thomas Parker, and that is because he had some issues on pit road. I believe he will be the first truck to go a lap down. In fact, he's back on the racing surface, but well behind any kind of draft. Also notable right here, Jack Hignite and William Fox have found each other. Besides that, Michael Clay, Danny Barnes, and Joey Allen run together. And Joey Galati, who you saw have issues on pit road, he is by himself as well. Everybody else is within a blanket of a second. You see them on your screen right now. 1st through 13th have found their way back to each other as Raymond Hanneman goes to the lead down the super stretch.
That's a good push on the bottom lane here, though. Logan York to the back bumper. Richard Elliott going to give a good push to Fitzpatrick. Outside, though, that BAR team, oh, man, a little offset by Richard Elliott. Gets cold just a little bit loose. A little bit loose, but out of the corner, Raymond Hanneman still has the advantage. You see these BAR trucks really controlling the field right now and working to their strategy well.
Well, we've been very impressed with the BAR trucks over the past few weeks, especially in this series. Hanneman's put up a good showing across the series at this point. He ran well in PGR on Thursday at times as well. Now, we know what Aubrey Thompson brings to the racing surface as well as Richard Elliott. They have been forces in this series in the past, but tonight looking for an opportunity to lock themselves into that race and hopefully going to bring Raymond Hanneman along with them. But KSR is knocking on the door up top. Kenny Stamper, the boss man, he's got Ryan Based with him. Based, probably the most surprising driver to not advance into that championship race. He started all 4 races now, has yet to advance his way in. Could tonight be the night for the 73? I like his chances, and he's got 2 teammates in the field.
Yeah, Kenny Stamper's been snake bitten. We talk about the bad luck that Jeff Merck has or the bad luck that Logan York has. Kenneth Stamper can't finish a race because he just keeps getting in other people's stuff when it comes to super speedway racing. So it'd be nice to see a good finish out of him here.
Absolutely, the boss man over at that operation in the race tonight, trying to help Ryan Bass get in, perhaps going to get in himself. Devin Ray joining the operation as well this week. They become another force to be reckoned with here over the next 2 weeks as we lock in our final 15. 9 spots taken, 6 spots to go. The top 3 in tonight's race will advance into that race in 3 weeks' time. It is 2 weeks' time now. That championship event in a couple of weeks. The 9 guys who have already advanced in that race, many of them watching tonight, trying to see who their competition is going to be. I've already seen Trevor Osrenoth in chat. He's watching. He's got 4 teammates in the field tonight who all are trying to join those 2 KSR trucks who locked in week 1 to create a force in that championship race. Looking good so far, side by side up front. It's barely able on the bottom. It's KSR up top. Kenny Stamper to lead. Now they share the top 2 lines. KSR looking like a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely great push on the outside by Devin Ray. You've got KSR controlling the field now, but I think BAR is in the spot they want to be. They're all three lined up on the bottom, able to save some fuel here. They both, both sets of trucks that came in are undercut on the fuel strategy, not running it all the way out. Was it by design? I don't really know. I think they were just trying to force the hand with the undercut for the first group, and it worked. But now the fuel strategy is really going to be tricky in these next two stops.
Devin right now and Devin Ray and Ryan Bass doing a really good job right now, working their way forward here pretty patiently, and it's been pretty impressive since the pit stops watching them work forward.
Well, you know what Devin Ray brings to that team? He brings a guy you know is going to be a good pusher. You know he's going to be able to work well with that team. He knows those guys very well already, so he brings a nice connection to that team, but also brings a ton of raw talent to that team as well. So expect them to run well tonight. Expect them to run well next week if they don't manage to get in the top 3 in tonight's race. We'll see how those boys do. Ryan Bass, you know, he has been clawing to get in. He's had a couple close calls over this season, just has not had the dice fall his way, and tonight hopes to get the job done. But, man, look at these guys on the bottom. Again, another big push. Raymond Hanneman, impressive showing here on the bottom of the racetrack as the pusher. Moves his teammate Aubrey Thompson out in front in that white and gold F-150. Oh, a little offset push right there is going to give Stamper back the lead. Impressive 2x2 racing as we slowly creep towards that second pit stop.
Cole Fitzpatrick really loose on that third truck on the inside. That's going to give the advantage to the outside. Very strong pushing and very organized up top there. They need to get formed up on the bottom so they don't get buried. I don't think BAR is really too... Oh, man, an offset push again by Ryan Bass. He backed off there right before he got to his bumper. Real lucky there, but I think they're okay with staying on the bottom and getting ready for the pit stops.
That's a really good push by Ryan, being patient there in the middle, just taking his time with it, seeing what came.
Well, we know that's what he likes to do. He's very patient, very calculated with his moves. That's why he's one of the best on the racetrack in this series, because he knows when to make the right move. He does so now. Gets his boss man over there at KSR back to the race lead. They can share the 2 lanes again. A little bit of contact further back in the middle of the pack, but everybody keeps it going once again. That's a few times tonight we've nearly wrecked. Not sure what the issue is tonight compared to last week. A lot of guys having a real handful here with the race trucks.
Logan's going to hang him out in the middle here.
I think he might. Yep, I think he just might. He's thinking about it. Nope, he's going to stay up here. He's going to commit to the back of Westmoreland. Let's see if Fitzpatrick goes with him. Stamper sees him coming, jumps up to aid his teammates. The seasoned move by the veteran, Kenneth Stamper. And Fitzpatrick says, now I'm going to go. He sees the run. 3 wide for the first time tonight, but not for much. Only about 2 rows deep is the bottom line. Dies in a hurry. Stamper going to hold the middle, try to keep that top lane locked up. Bottom's going to need some kind of miracle here. They only have 2 trucks down there.
Yeah, they're holding good, though. Not much side drafting going on to the bottom lane. It's not going to kill their run as much. You're just going to see some temps run out. You see the drop to the bottom by Devin Ray. Hangs out KSR. I don't know about that move. Maybe he's trying to line up the KSR boys. Yes, he is. Checks up there, trying to get his teammates down. Ryan Bass is going to get down. Kenny Stamper's going to clear down.
Typically what that means is that pit stops are approaching. I think that's exactly what's happening now. Logan York, Cole Fitzpatrick, and Brock Westmoreland are going to try to regroup. Well, right as soon as I say they're going to regroup, Fitzpatrick dives in. Imminent pit stops here at Talladega. That's what this means. Guys trying to scramble to the bottom, find any spot they can in line. Fitzpatrick's going to let York in. Where will Westmoreland find a spot? We're getting ready for pit stop number 2.
Yeah, I just didn't get that move. If you're that close to the pit stop, why are you going 3 wide with 2 trucks? It just, you didn't have any momentum with how fast you're going.
Well, they tried it anyway. For a second, it looked like they had the run, but as soon as Kenny Stamper jumped up to the middle, he stalled that run on the top side. Now, bottom lane not pushing as hard. It allows Logan York. He's being very aggressive on the back of Brock Westmoreland here. He's going to try to get them both clear. It's going to be awfully close. Hanneman's backed off. No third truck really on the bottom. Stamper's being a little bit conservative as well. Can these guys clear forward? This would be a huge momentum thing for these 2 trucks. They can manage to be in the lead by the time we pit.
Yeah, they're going to try. It's just going to be real tough. They need another truck up there. Raymond's going to be able to manage his temps as well as he can to keep himself canceled. But Logan York, one of the best pushers, like we talk about every time. Here comes Cole Fitzpatrick to the outside trying to get there to get some support on that outside line. But I think it's going to be too little too late. You're going to see these guys start to pit here soon.
If Cole can get up there, though, it could really help move that momentum forward. 3 trucks on the outside is definitely better than 2.
Well, it is, and he's trying to get up there. He's trying to help him now. This is normal. Cole Fitzpatrick normally helps Logan York wherever he goes. The 9 tends to follow. And right now he's doing the same. He's still about 2, maybe 3 trunk lengths off the back bumper of Logan, but he's going to be there by the time they get to the super stretch, and this is a game changer here for the top lane. Fitzpatrick, an aggressive pusher, very good as a third in line. If he can get to Logan right here, I think they may have something for these guys. And yes, they do. Here we go. Fitzpatrick is there. What kind of run can they get? Now, how hard does Hanneman push on the bottom? I'll tell you how hard. He is right in the back bumper of Aubrey Thompson. 3 wide as they hang out Westmoreland. 4 truck trying to find a spot in line. Fitzpatrick and York were not interested, and that's going to create a huge gap here as these guys try to find a spot in line. Oh, that may have completely backfired on the 48.
That was selfish by Logan.
Oh, trouble! Around goes Richard Elliott. He backs it into the outside wall, somehow keeps it going straight. We're going to avoid a caution, but that is crippling here for the driver of the 0-2 as he's going to have to try to recover, and with nobody around him, that's going to be a tough hurdle to get over. It's unlucky for him that he made that save. Looked like we were headed for a caution. Instead, we keep it green, and Elliott will lose the draft.
That was really too bad there. If Logan would have stayed committed and pushed that line forward, someone would have gotten cleared. It changed a little bit, but...
Well, now what this has done is split the field into 2 groups. You see a visible gap between a couple of these trucks. It's between 7th place Logan York and 8th place Tyler Vickery. Now they're still in draft range here, but they're going to have to make a hot pit entry if they decide to pit on this lap. Nobody going to take it, so everybody going to wait. Now they should all be back together by the time we get back around one more time. And this has really benefited the Barely Able Racing trucks here at the front, as well as the KSR group as well, who all seem to have benefited very nicely from this pit stop cycling out. And all of a sudden, they take up the top 6 spots on the racetrack. York runs 7th, and that's how it looks like it's going to stay until pit stops.
Yeah, I really thought that they were going to try and capitalize there with that separation of those 6 trucks, try and come down pit road, try and gap this second group that would have been behind them. That was just enough separation to maybe give yourself a shot to get away from these guys if you had good pit road entry. But didn't happen, still single filed out, probably for the front 12 trucks, and then you have about 4 or 5 trucks off the pace towards the back in a second pack.
Well, Richard Elliott has hit pit road, and
Yeah,
now
like
everybody else is going to join him. Yep. Oh, 3 trucks stay on the racetrack, make it 4.
Back.
Thompson, Hanneman, Westmoreland, and I
You got
think
one
that might have been the
that's
lap truck of Galati. We do have some spinning going on pit road. Someone has gotten into the grass. A couple of them. Steve Sizemore and can't tell who the other truck is. There looks like Danny Eschleman maybe in that white and black truck. Sizemore extended stay here on the entry of pit road. He's going to lose this group, and that's going to probably take a dent out of his race as these guys will be rolling here momentarily. Thomas Parker slides through his pit box. Base down and away. Vickery down and away. Stamper down and away. Heck of a pit stop for Tyler Vickery. How about the stop for the 124? Excellent work on pit road by him. And we await this lead group that's now only 3 trucks deep as they come off turn 4.
Oh, man, Devin Ray with some problems on pit road. Looks like he got a speeding. Unfortunate for him and the KSR group. They're losing trucks left and right. So is BAR losing trucks left and right.
Thompson.
Yeah, that lead group just came here for the pit road.
I was just going to say Thompson, Westmoreland, Hanneman decide to pit right here, this time by with 25 to go. A dead even halfway through this one. And wire to wire, knock on wood, we are caution-free through the first half of this race. For a moment, it'll be Michael Clay to the race lead, but they will cede the lead here to come to pit road. It's he, William Fox, Joey Allen, and Jack Hignite that will pit this time by, and that should hand the lead over to these 3 trucks right here. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, they've broken the draft. I think they're right on the cusp of perhaps breaking into a 3-car pack here. This could be huge for Stamper, Vickery, and Ryan Based.
Yeah, it's going to be a 3v3. It'll be KSR versus Barely Able Racing with Brock Westmoreland. If these 2 guys can't get caught up, really shocked Logan York wasn't able to get off pit road to make a back, and I'll look and see what problems he had there, but I thought he had a pretty good stop. I guess not.
Ooh, they got a blend. Aubrey Thompson almost comes together with the lead group, and that was close right there off pit road. They're going to have to probably burn some time, and oh, man, this is going to be awfully close. Will these 3 trucks be able to break that second group? It's going to be awfully close. We got some trouble for Joey Allen. We'll take a look here at what has happened on his truck. He's gone for a spin on the exit of pit road, but he gets it back going. And here we go. Let's see. Right at about 1.4 seconds right now. They're right on the cusp of perhaps breaking this to a 3-truck breakaway up front.
This should definitely be an 8-car pack by the time we get done with it here. These guys are going to get hooked together, these back 5. and they should definitely run down that first 3.
All right, so we'll run it down for you. Here are the top 8 after pit stops that have kept the draft. Kenny Stamper leads. It's Ryan Bass second. Tyler Vickery runs in the 3rd position. Raymond Hanneman, Brock Westmoreland, Cole Fitzpatrick, and I believe there might be a lap truck in this. No, it's Heath Job that's the tail end truck in this group. So 5 more coming on the back of this lead group. It'll
Here
be
they come.
8 trucks, and here they come. They're going to have a whale of a run right here. You saw the front 3 do a switch, much like we'd see in 2011 tandem racing. They decided to swap. Vickery gives way for Ryan Bass to push his teammate. Unfortunately, it broke their run, and here comes Aubrey Thompson. He's got a monster run to the outside. He brings Westmoreland and Hanneman with him. Fitzpatrick Job joined the party. Thompson back to the lead. 22 laps to go this time by.
Big run on the outside. They're going to catch 2 lap cars up here. That's going to help them with the draft to pull further away from anyone that's trying to catch up to them. But this looks like this is going to be the race for the lead here in the top 8. As you see, BAR take control back of this race. A little offset. Oh, man. Kenny gets loose. Ryan Bass gets loose. Look like...
That's a good job, them guys saving it, and Kenny giving a little room to everyone behind Bass. Good job.
Absolutely. It looks like Kenneth got a little bit upstairs, and Ryan Bass wasn't expecting it. Got him a little loose, and everyone was able to gather it up. May see some single file action here trying to get to that next pit stop.
Well, and it should be the last pit stop as well. I would expect that this next one would be our final pit stop of the night, and it will be inside of 15 laps to go. These guys should be able to comfortably, at the very least, split this run in half. Although if they run it out, they can pit with about 10 laps to go, I think. Something in that window is when you're going to see these leaders on pit road again for their final stop. It'll be 8 trucks for 3 spots. And now it's notable. Brock Westmoreland of Team PGR, no teammates in this front pack. Heath Job of Hyper may have a teammate join this pack if Danny Barnes is able to hold on to the draft. Devin Ray, if he can catch the draft, he's got 2 teammates in this pack in Ryan Bass and Kenny Stamper. So KSR may have 3 trucks, 2 of them on the lead lap. Hyper's got 2 trucks, 1 of them on the lead lap. Barely Able Racing has at least 2 trucks up here as well, running front 2 right now. So all of a sudden you got a bunch of teammates all over the place with only 3 spots to settle. It's going to come down to it on this last pit stop, but for now, single file all the way back as the lap cars try to blend their way in.
Yeah, Danny Barnes, Devin Ray, and Joseph Allen right there all hung on to the draft, so it's going to be interesting to see who they help and what they do right here.
Well, Devin Ray gets hung all the way up on the second line as he's going to go to the tail end of this group. Actually, his teammates in KSR are going to jump up, try to help him out, and actually may go ahead and make their run to the front. Devin Ray was already 5 trucks up by the time they got up. KSR is hooked up, running back to the front one more time. Here comes Kenny Stamper and a couple of his teammates up towards the front of the field with 20 laps to go. We start to get racy. Vickery takes a step out of line as well. He wants to go to the front. What a move by KSR. A huge surge to the outside. They go to the lead. They clear down 2, and Devin Ray again gets stuck up on the outside.
Devin Ray's okay with that, though. Being the lap car in this situation, he wants to help his teammates as much as possible, but if I was KSR, I'd put him out front, make sure that he is the one that is out front of everyone. That way he gets his lap back. But that's neither here nor there, but they just want to be up front controlling this race. Only 2 BAR teammates, so if they go to the outside, Brock Westmoreland has a decision to make if he wants to go high or low. I think he takes a high line. He's been working well with these guys.
That's absolutely right, Baker, about getting him up front. That would have been a fun play, and definitely something we'd have tried.
Well, it's something we have seen you guys try in the past before, many times over the course of the money races I've been up here for. So no surprise they are going to try it as well. One of the teams willing to do something like that, get their guys to the front, do the job, if you will, and then hang back a little bit. Let them lead the race. You've done your job for now. Now, Cole Fitzpatrick says, I want to go up. Devin Ray says, no, sirree. He's going to take that run right to the outside. Slams the door on Cole Fitzpatrick there. 18 to go, and all of a sudden, Devin Ray is working his way back up here towards his teammates.
I would look for the pit stops to be coming in about 4 or 5 laps. Get right inside that window. I think the max you can go is 15. Safe is like 14 or 13, but they've been undercutting,
Here
trying
comes
to
Devin
get...
around everybody, though. These KSR guys, you know, they might be paying attention a little.
Oh, boy. So Ray now leads the field. That's awfully ironic timing out of the driver of the 22, Devin Ray, as he drops in front of his teammates. A little bit sketchy timing, but we'll let it slide for a moment at
Someone's
least.
listening to the broadcast.
I was going to say, I think we got
one
a
of the 20 KSR boys.
little bit of tampering going on in the race broadcast, perhaps, but that's again neither here nor there. So we'll let it slide for now. Joey Allen's going to be the next guy to try to go get his lap back here the hard way, and he's got pretty good contingent of pushers behind him. Hyper's decided it's time to go, and Cole Fitzpatrick has decided he wants to get some spots as well. So, again, 2 wide, and if you look at that lap counter in the top left, as we get closer to that pit window, it's going to be interesting to see. Do they run the tank out? Do they get inside the window? Maybe a split strategy again as well like last week. We'll have to see who decides to go in. About a 4-lap difference in when you could start to pit and when you would have to pit here on this last set of service. 2 wide. Here comes Allen. He's going to get his lap back right here. I don't know if he'll clear down, but he's getting a hefty push here from Cole Fitzpatrick. He is very eager to go to the front.
Well, in the chat, you see Trevor Osborne saying, KSR, thanks for the advice. So they took the advice of us and got him out front here. I mean, it's smart. It's smart, you know. Use all your resources. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying, you know.
Right. It's a good move. I mean, get him out front of the field here. You know, they're saving fuel behind him. You know, it's smart.
Look, I'll say this: it ain't in the rule book, so anything's fair game at this point, and we got some listening ears going on here. So you know, credit us at least. I guess at the very least, credit Baker if one of these boys manages to go to victory lane, because all of a sudden they listen to his advice and they lead the race. Now have a teammate up there as well. So we'll see how it pans out for them. 2 laps short of pit stops, and well, all of a sudden looks like they're in the best spot. Ironically enough.
Yeah, it's going to pan out well for him. I just say it's a good crew chief in Trevor Osborne. I think he already knows he's in with the
Good job by
championship race.
Victory right there, not turning Cole Fitzpatrick. Cole's trying to force it down line. Tyler gave him a lot of room. He's not happy with it, giving him a bump through the tri-oval.
Here's a look at the driver of the 124 carrying the onboard camera for us, running P7 on the racetrack right now. Another solid run for him as he looks to get in as a solo driver tonight. And what a story again it would be. He was in it late a few weeks ago, got caught up in an accident on a green-white checkered attempt. This week looking for some redemption and in a great spot as we approach pit stops. That target lap, 14 to go. 1 lap away, Baker. When do we see the leaders hit pit road?
I think you're seeing it probably this lap. A lot of separation between the KSR teammates getting ready for this pit stop. I would expect some pit stops here from the front 3.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, everybody's getting short on fuel.
Well, here they come off turn 4. Let's see for sure. No takers that time by. A couple of the hyper trucks leaned out of line, but nobody decides to take it, and all of a sudden we go around another time. Next time being the target lap. 14 laps to go would be the window to make it. Now for me, it almost run maybe another one if you want to be for sure good for a green-white checkered attempt, but I don't think these guys are concerned. This race has run 37 laps wire to wires to this point, and at the rate we're racing, it's going to get racy here late after this last pit stop, but for now, still wire to wire, no cautions to be spoken of.
Well, BAR is ahead of the curve on the fuel strategy, and they've been saving fuel here on the bottom, so they're definitely going to be good to go. A couple more laps if they want to. It's just a decision by KSR if they want to push this tank all the way out in short fuel.
Yeah, they got 4 lined up right here in a row, so it's going to be tough for, you know, anybody to do anything pitting here solo.
Oh, tough break further back. The hyper trucks went to commit to pit road. Unfortunately, nobody went with them, and for Danny Barnes, he is going to lose the draft again as he was almost fully committed to pit road by the time Heath Job called the audible and opted to stay out. Job keeps the draft. Barnes does not, so Job now down a teammate here in the lead group as I guess he thought they were coming to pit road that time. Again, nobody takes. Maybe this time by, as all the leaders have been able to save fuel, I would imagine this time by, or maybe next time at the latest, would probably be as late as we see anybody go.
Yeah, absolutely. Still more spreading out here. You see big spread out by VAR. Usually when you see the spread out, that means there's going to be pit stops coming, or you're trying to save some fuel, so we'll see this time by. If it's not this time, you see VAR pulling off. You got Brock Westmoreland, Cole Fitzpatrick, and Heath Job there. 5 trucks. Oh, big lockup by Aubrey Thompson. I think he got down in time. Yeah, he did get down into speed, so he will be fine.
That was close, Baker.
That was very close for Aubrey Thompson. We caught the tail end as he locked the tires up at the pit entry line. It is a split strategy. Thompson, Westmoreland, Hanneman, Job, Fitzpatrick pit here. Stamper, Based, and Hickory stay out on the racetrack of our lead group. And then you have Devin Ray. Looks like Joey Galati and Joey Allen that also decide to stay on the racetrack. Now, Devin Ray obviously will pit when his teammates pit right here. I imagine this will be this time with 12 to go. I don't know how good a lap times they're going to make as a group of 3. We'll have to see when that other group gets off pit road how much time they will have gained. Off the corner here with 12 to go. Do the KSR boys pit? Yes, they do. Here comes KSR. Here comes Tyler Vickery. The 4 lead lap trucks on pit road. Final service for these 4 as they get down to pit speed.
That was, it worked out perfect for them. They had 3 trucks in front of them to pull a draft from, so I think they're going to make a lot of time here on pit road, and you'll see these guys come out as the leaders.
This group of 5 got onto pit road really well. The back group did a good job of getting closed up and like slowed down. One truck at the back had a problem. It might be a group of 4 coming off here.
Last group to pit, Eschleman, York, Elliott, Parker, the group that had lost the draft. They hit pit road right here with 12 laps to go as well. The group to watch, here is Aubrey Thompson, Raymond Hanneman, Cole Fitzpatrick, Brock Westmoreland, and Heath Jobe. They fly past the tri-oval here. Kenny Stamper's had some problems on pit road. He's going to miss his teammates.
4 tires. Oh, no.
And it's an unfortunate break for Kenny Stamper, who's likely has seen his chances go up and smoke a mistake on the pits. The boss man of KSR now, the lucky thing for Ryan Baste is he does still have a teammate. Well, I thought he had a teammate. He doesn't. It's just Baste and Vickery. No Devin Ray to be found either. Not sure what happened on the 22 truck either, but all of a sudden now Baste, no help up front, and they just get bypassed by the leaders. A disaster for KSR on the final pit stop.
Yeah, that's too bad. Like, those guys had a really good chance to make something happen. This is going to be a group of 7 if they get organized here.
Well, we'll watch and see if anybody even is going to be able to pick up any time. It's not going to happen. Kenneth Stamper already 7 seconds back and a long ways to go till he sees any other trucks. They are 16 seconds off the pace. Stamper now relies on a caution. And as of right now, we are inside 10 laps to go. And, boys, we are looking at a 7-car race for 3 spots. These are the 7 trucks that will decide the 3 spots in the final 15 tonight. And we'll run them down for you here. Aubrey Thompson, Raymond Hanneman, Cole Fitzpatrick, Heath Jobe, Ryan Baste, Tyler Vickery, and Brock Westmoreland. That'll be the 7. As of right now, if the race goes wire to wire to the end, these will be the 7 battling for 3 spots.
Yeah, just a bummer for KSR. It looked like Devin Ray and Kenneth Stamper both took right side tires. That's going to really slow down the stop, especially with a short fuel. It's going to be a killer to the time, but Kenneth took 4 tires and Devin Ray took right side, so that's what really messed up the strategy there. But they've got Tyler, they've got Ryan Baste. You know Tyler's going to go with them whenever he decides to go, so look for Ryan Baste to start making his way towards the front.
You know, someone we haven't mentioned on that is Heath Jobe. He's done a really good job of just patiently being in this race, and, you know, just a shout-out to him.
Always one that is consistently in the mix.
As he makes a move to the
and
outside.
Right as you talk about him. That's a nice little cue right there for Heath Jobe as he jumps to the outside. And good call on both of them. Ryan Baste and Heath Jobe going to come to the front right here with 9 laps to go. It's time to get racy, apparently, here for some of these boys in this pack. Tyler Vickery, Brock Westmoreland say, I'm going to go along for that as well. They leave the guys on the bottom hanging. Heath Jobe to the race lead. Ryan Baste, one of the best pushers in the business, right in the back of Heath Jobe. Fitzpatrick says, I'm going to try to do something too. How about that? Clear by Tyler Vickery. Great move by the 124. He's now sits 3rd with 8 laps to go.
What a move by Heath Jobe right there, moving out, and Baste and Vickery sticking with him and flipping the track position here on these guys. Really good shot getting themselves in the top 3 here. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, but the thing that did was just cycle temps. Now Aubrey Thompson has the freshest temps. He can push Raymond Hanneman if he gets clear, but Raymond Hanneman sticks to the bottom side. Don't understand that call. Brock Westmoreland's been really working well with his BAR trucks. I look for those 3 to get hooked up, and Cole Fitzpatrick's going to be your wild card to see which one has 4 cars on the line, and they'll get that win.
The problem
that's
for...
gonna be fun to
go
watch.
ahead. Yeah, well, the problem for Cole here is he's going to be the odd man out. He's not going to make the top 3 being 4th in line. He'll have to try to cycle forward. Baste says he wants the lead. Jumps up in front of Aubrey Thompson. He will get the lead. Bunny hops Heath Jobe. Now I would imagine he'd try to bring Thompson with him. No. Hangs him up top. Now drops to the front bumper of Heath Jobe. Jobe will square him up. Now it's Westmoreland, Thompson, Fitzpatrick up top. 4 trucks on the bottom now. Baste, Jobe, Vickery, and Hanneman. They are catching a lap machine up in front of them here. I have yet to figure out which truck that is. I can't.
Thomas Parker.
Thomas Parker. So convenient. A KSR entry now. If he catches the draft, this changes the game, I think, for Ryan Baste. He has a teammate all of a sudden. Aubrey Thompson slides top to bottom. He wants to lead. Westmoreland says, thank you very much. I'm going to go up alongside. Raymond Hanneman's gotten off the bottom as well. bunch of cycling going on here at the front. They put Thomas Parker here another lap down. Will he be able to hang on to the draft if he can? Again, a game changer likely here for Ryan Bass for KSR. If Parker can hang on to this draft, it's going to be close whether or not he can hang on to the back end of these 7 leaders.
I don't think he's going to. He's really off the pace here. It looks like he's half a second back, 6/10, 7/10. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch up in time.
Yeah, the truck moving up off the bottom really killed his momentum right there. He's going to lose it, I think. It's going to be really close.
It will be close. 4 trucks up top again. Westmoreland to the race lead. Fitzpatrick now second on the outside. Hanneman and Vickery are tailing the top lane here as they try everything they can to get around these bottom 3. And it's still 7 cars for the race lead. Bottom line doing a great job. Like I said, Ryan Bass, one of the best pushers on the racetrack in this event. He's doing a great job, even with Heath Job laying off a little bit, just being conservative, being safe, waiting for the right moment, like we talked about a moment ago, but now it's going to break him up. Brock Westmoreland power move to the race lead in the 4. He brings Fitzpatrick and Hanneman with him. All of a sudden, they're going to put Eshelman another lap down. 5 laps to go at Talladega.
Great battling going up front, side-by-side action. We're seeing teammates kind of split up. Right now, it's really who's going to be the best pusher on the outside line. That outside line every single time has had a massive run coming to the line.
Hanneman's done a really good job here being patient, just waiting for something to happen in front of him and, pushing someone forward as he makes a good move here with Cole.
I think he wanted to take a left to the inside of Cole Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick match played him, decided to drop on his front bumper and keep him from getting the lead. Vickery the odd man out, but not for long. Brock Westmoreland, another power move to the outside, and Aubrey Thompson, that looked coordinated, if anything, by those 2 trucks. Job goes with him, and now the bottom's run will be killed. Bass goes with him as well. 2 trucks by themselves, 4 laps to go, and another huge run for the outside. Brock Westmoreland put on a masterclass so far, goes right back to the lead in turn 1.
That's a really good move by Brock getting down there.
Aubrey Thompson, he wants to lead back. Westmoreland, I think, went a little bit early. I think he could have brought Aubrey Thompson with him to the front instead. Dropped immediately to the bottom as soon as he got it. Allows Thompson to go back to the lead. All 7 of these guys, it feels like, have cycled forward to the race lead. Now Thompson back to the bottom. It allows Job and Bass and Vickery up to the top. Man, this is going to get really interesting because 4 of these guys are going to be the odd man out coming to the white flag. They're going to have to get in the top 3. Going to have to get a little bit desperate. This one's getting really dicey up front as these guys cycle back and forth. Heath Job back to the lead, but for how long? Seems like these guys are cycling every 10, 15 seconds. Look at Hanneman. Immediately jumps back to the outside of this revolving door at the front. 3 laps to go at the line.
Yeah, the outside line is just prevailing right now. Ryan Bass going to give a good push to Heath Job. Aubrey Thompson getting a good push from Brock Westmoreland. I think Brock's really comfortable there being on the bottom. He just needs Cole to stay close to him this entire time as we're coming to 2 to go. I mean, this is going to be a barn burner. I thought teammates would line up with teammates and you would see a big push fest, but I mean, yeah, BAR separated very front on the bottom line and very back on the top line, so it's going to be a slugfest all the way down to this white flag.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which way this thing flops around here by the time we get back to the finish line.
Well, the bottom is cycled out again. Now Aubrey Thompson, that's the first block to the top. Bass has to bail out. Now goes back into the middle. Hanneman had to bail to the bottom, and Tyler Vickery had to get out of the gas. That separates the top line. Thompson now takes advantage, goes back to the bottom. First time we've seen a block. 2 laps to go this time by at the line. Job, Bass, Vickery. Now Westmoreland. Power move by the 4 up to the top. Fitzpatrick now the lead pusher on the bottom. Thompson continues to lead. Fitzpatrick a nice shot there in the middle of 1 and 2. Now here's the interesting part. If Fitzpatrick is able to get up, it lines up BAR. Now they're only 2 trucks apart, but not for long. Outside line still rolling. Westmoreland leads halfway down the super stretch. Who's going to have the better line at this point? I don't even know. Hanneman moves back to the top now in 3. Westmoreland back down to the bottom. They're all over the place up front.
It's going to be really fresh temps on the bottom. Aubrey Thompson getting a good push. Cole Fitzpatrick right on the back bumper. This is going to be a drag race all the way to the start-finish line. As soon as we get to this white flag, I mean, everyone here has fresh temps. Ryan Bass getting to the back bumper of Heath Job. Watch for this outside lane to really surge. Cole Fitzpatrick almost clear up. If he gets it, he's going to take it. He's not going to get clear. Oh, man. Big move by Aubrey Thompson. White flag in the air. Brock Westmoreland led at that time.
Yeah, huge move there. Oh, trouble! Westmoreland gets turned. Fitzpatrick and Bass turn to the wall big. Bass upside down. It's still a 4-truck race up front. Thompson, Job, Westmoreland, Hanneman, maybe Tyler Vickery if he can stay in it. But he's losing a lot of ground. Might be 4 trucks for 3 spots here. Down the super stretch and into 3.
Oh, this might just be a 2-truck race now that those back two are back side by side.
It was a 2-truck race, but what we were looking for is that third spot. Can Brock Westmoreland get that run off of turn 4 here? I don't think they're going to catch these front two. These front two are content. They're in the championship. Brock Westmoreland not content. He's going to try and go to the outside if he can get a run here. The problem is they have a pull off the draft of the front two. Will Brock Westmoreland make the move in the tribal? Gets to the tribal, trying to get to that right side. Raymond blocks. Brock's there. He's going to push him all the way.
Turbo!
Oh!
And Hanneman gets it at the line.
Raymond got the last spot.
Raymond Hanneman somehow ends up wrecking across the start-finish line and gets in. Aubrey Thompson wins, and Heath Job comes home second. A barn burner here in the Little Guys Series tonight. What a heck of a race. Thompson, Job, Hanneman, your top 3.
I mean, the race for the finish was just as good. We were calling the third place, and the same thing happened up there at coming to the line. Heath Job hooks Aubrey Thompson. Aubrey Thompson walked up the track a little bit, and it just got him on the right rear. Nothing Heath Job could really do. He's there at the outside and just drives up into him.
So we'll go back and analyze the entire last lap. We did see a wreck here at the first part of this last lap between Ryan Baste and a couple of others. And Cole Fitzpatrick was involved in this one as well. We'll try to see exactly what happened here going into turn number 1. They got checked up on the outside going into 1 as Thompson made that massive move to the outside. And going into 1, it looked like maybe just some netcode perhaps here between Fitzpatrick and Baste, and that sent them careening into the outside wall. This is a massive hit. You see their contact between Fitzpatrick and Westmoreland, so they try to get squared up. And as Cole comes back up the racetrack, Raymond Hanneman's already committed to that spot. Gets turned. They netcode together, and Ryan Baste gets the blunt end of another late wreck at Talladega. Seems like he's been in contention so many times. Again, coming up short. A last lap wreck gets him. Tyler Vickery got enough of that he was off the draft as well. And then that left our front 4 for 3 spots. We'll watch them all the way around here. As they got back to the start-finish line, it looked really like it was going to be the battle for third. Hanneman, I'll tell you what, I think they might have had a shot to both get in if Hanneman stays hooked to his back bumper, but decides to hook a right, get out there early, and as a result, is going to get the third spot. You wonder what could have been if he'd have stayed behind him here. Job and Thompson stay connected now. Heath Job, right here, he takes a look at the entrance of the tribal, and I thought it was going to end up bad here. He tucks back in, waits an extra second, then goes to the outside, tries to get the win, and they're actually going to get together as well right at the start-finish. And you see the incident back there for the third spot as well. What a race. What a finish here at Talladega.
Absolutely. Just, I'll correct myself. Looks like Heath Job going for the side draft there. Just takes off a little more than he can chew. Gets into the right quarter panel. Aubrey Thompson turns him up the track. Great race by him. But just heartbreak for Brock Westmoreland. Had the move to the outside. Was there for quite a while. Just got forced up the track until the netcode took over. And he really couldn't do much after that. Just unfortunate. Ran a really, really good race. All front 7 of these trucks ran a really good race. Unfortunate to see it end like that, but a great race nonetheless.
Well, an incredible race for multiple spots. We'll try to get everybody in the picture here as we can get all the action across the top 4 spots. And what a race that it was. We'll go through your finishing results, but hang around. You're going to get to hear from your top 3 here in just a moment. As we go through your finishing results, first give those guys a chance to get settled down after the race ended. And we'll go through your finishing results. Aubrey Thompson gets the victory for BAR, ran a great race, and goes to victory lane. He's in the championship race at the end of the season. Heath Job gets in for Hyper Motorsports in the 760. Ran probably the most patient race of anybody in the field. He finishes in second. Raymond Hanneman puts the good showing to good use. He is in the championship race in his first season in the Little Guys Series. Brock Westmoreland 1 spot short in the 4. He'll finish 4th tonight. Tyler Vickery rounds out the top 5. Kenny Stamper comes back to finish in 6th out of that pit road mishap. Cole Fitzpatrick finishes 7th. Logan York in 8th. Richard Elliott 9th. And Ryan Baste rounding out the top 10.
And in 11th, we've got Devin Ray. Unfortunate for him. Trying to get back in the lead lap. Lost it. Jack Hignite. William Fox, Danny Eshelman, Joseph Allen, Danny Barnes in 16th. 17th got Thomas Parker. Joey Galati in 18th.
19th is Steve Sizemore, Michael Clay, and 20th. Man, the radioactive, if they had one on this race, would be lit up. I mean, these guys are talking smack back and forth after that race.
Well, you'd expect.
Yeah, it's kind of distracting in the background here, so it's kind of fun though. It is a great race. That top 7 did a great job.
You'd expect nothing less than a little bit of smack talk after that kind of finish. And hang around for a moment. We're going to go get your top 3 for interviews. We will be right back. Hang right here. Back live at Talladega Super Speedway. We're going to have your top 3 here for interviews. We'll grab the first one right here. And that is none other than the newcomer to this thing, Raymond Hanneman, his first go in the Little Guy Series. Raymond, it's the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, you come home third. A bit dicey there at the end. You get hooked in the trial. You manage to stay in front of him regardless. You'll be racing for a championship. Take me through the race as it unfolded and that last lap cycle between you and Brock Westmoreland.
After Cole Fitzpatrick got below the yellow and he came back up on track, I let off of it and went over the top of my nose, and it was just a drag race, and my spotter was just telling me to block him the whole time, and that's what I was doing, was just blocking. And I looked back at the replay there, and it looked like it was a little bit of net code. I know a lot of people aren't happy with that call, but it is what it is. It's online racing at the end of the day, right? So.
Well, absolutely it is, and you know what a good run for you. We've seen you run well across series here over the past couple weeks. You finally get it to pay off tonight. You're on the podium, and you're racing for a championship. Just take us through the growth you've had already as a driver doing this thing and getting involved in some of these races, and just take me through what you've picked up and what you're going to take into that championship race.
And as I said last week, there it was just honestly just calm, cool, collected, race with these guys hard, and you just keep doing what you're doing. It's every single race you're learning something, rather it's how close you can get your trucks or how you can push someone. Tonight was actually working on pit road properly. I didn't mess that up on exit this time, so no, it's definitely good. Every little race you do, it's you have a little bit of a takeaway, but I can't give all my secrets yet, so.
Well, absolutely. Well, you come home third tonight. It's good enough to get you in the championship race, so you're going to see that in 2 weeks' time. While we've got you up here for a second, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Got to thank the guys at Bar, getting me on the team. Aubrey, Richard tonight, Harrison, they're spotting us. I want to thank Street Limit, my personal team, and all my sponsors. When it comes down to the Crew app and then Boost the North, wouldn't be where I am without them today. So big shout out to them.
Well, absolutely. Congratulations on a third-place finish and locking into the championship race along with your teammate Aubrey Thompson. We will see you in a couple weeks' time at that championship race. Congratulations. Go enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Raymond Hanneman, the third-place finisher tonight. And that'll move us to the man who finished second in this race. Heath Joe for Hyper Motorsports, and Matthew Baker stands by.
Hey, Heath, it's Matt and Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, sir. How are you?
Doing great. Well, not better than you, locking it in. Top 3 there. Looks like he made a move to the outside, went for the side draft. It kind of grabbed him, pushed him up the hill. Nonetheless, you guys are battling out for the win there. All bets are off, gloves are off, coming out of turn 4. Take me through that move that you made to the outside and just the race overall in general. It seems like you played a real patient race. We're able to just make your way methodically to the front and just talk me through that.
Yeah, I went into the race, pretty level-minded, open-minded. I know for recently, my luck has not been anything really to write home about. So, I didn't go in negative. I just came in, open-minded and thinking big picture racing. Um, and that's pretty much how I ran the race, just big picture, big picture. At no point was I ever considering that I had a chance for the win or going for the win. My thought was to get myself locked in. Luckily, I had, good pit stops. The little group I was running with, Danny Eshelman, um, and then they had some trouble, so we kind of got separated there, and that kind of fell apart pretty quick. But at the end, to be honest, I had an opportunity to make a move on Aubrey, probably coming out of four. I had a ton of steam, but again, a big picture thinking racing came into the brain and said, just, hang tight, and it's not really important to get that win. More important to get locked in. So to go to the outside was more just a thing for pictures and broadcast deal, so we weren't going to do a mistake there at the end and screw each other up by being funny. So, yeah, it ended up a good race. I hate that I turned him. I wasn't trying to do that. But yeah, it was fun, man. It was a great race. Everybody that we were running around was really clean. So yeah, it was a great race.
Well, it was a great race for you. Patience was the name of the game for you. Execution on pit stops. We talk about it's 80% luck and 20% skill. We hit all 20% of that skill, and you're able to avoid the wreck there that inevitably comes. We get all this green flag racing to that last lap, and people take half their brains and throw it out, but it looked like you kept your head on straight. You knew what the big picture was. You thought big picture all day. Anyone you like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, man, for sure. Got to thank John Ward for bringing me on board with Hyper Motorsports. He's really taught me quite a bit. Really good mentor. Love what he does with the younger guys and the upcoming drivers. Really a punch to the money racing scene. Got to put a little shout out to my personal business, 760 Graphics. I do all the paint schemes for Hyper Motorsports. And I couldn't be where I'm at, obviously, without my wife supporting me, and then again, my buddies in the background that don't get a lot of shout outs, but and my teammates for sure, Danny Barnes and whatnot. So yeah, and then you guys in the booth, awesome job as always. Love listening to your stuff. You guys are great. Love the teamwork and camaraderie between y'all.
Well, thanks for the shout out for us. We love broadcasting these races. We've had 2 banger of races, and glad to see you locked into the championship. Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And unfortunately, Aubrey Thompson not going to be able to give us a word tonight as he's running a little bit late for work. So, hey, no worries there. Life comes first. So what we are going to do is I'll try to get him in. We'll get a word with him before next week's race. We'll try to get on a few minutes early, try to hear what he thought about tonight's race, as he is no longer eligible to race next week now that these 3 are in. Aubrey Thompson, Heath Job, Raymond Hanneman, they are kicking their feet up on the desk next week and watching as we go to work for our final regular season race. 12 are locked in. 3 spots remain. Guys, a total barn burner, an epic race here tonight at Talladega. It goes wire to wire, green flag. We have a great finish, and in the end, 3 drivers are in the final 15. What a race tonight at Talladega. Either one of you, go ahead and give your thoughts on the race, Baker or Lee. Go ahead. What'd you guys say?
Yeah, that's a really fun race to watch. Aubrey did a great job that whole race, being patient, getting to the front. Heath, what a silent race. I mean, he didn't get talked about till the end of that race. And, that's something Heath does in these races. He's just really one of them patient drivers that doesn't get to the front a lot because he's not aggressive. And, in Raymond, we talked about him earlier in the race. Somebody I've been watching a lot recently, racing around a lot, and he does a great job being towards the front, learning a lot. A lot of these guys just learning. It's fun to watch these guys. That you don't pay attention to necessarily racing against them all the time.
Well, absolutely, and Baker having some PC trouble. We'll try to hopefully get him back in, get his thoughts. We'll go ahead and give you some notes as we get ready to head into next week. There's Baker. Baker, unfortunate PC issues, but you're back. What'd you think of that race real quickly before we head off?
Yeah, we just talked about how 2 weeks in a row we've had green flag racing pit strategy and seeing the best drivers really come out on top. Next week I'm looking for people that have had misfortune throughout this entire series. Logan York, Ryan Bass to really be up front, trying to control that race to get their way into that championship.
Well, absolutely.
But also Brad Brock and Tyler Vickery and Ken made a mistake going on the pit road there. Is that something these guys work to clean up? Baker, me and you have worked a lot on cleaning up pit road stuff. That's a big part of this stuff. When you're pitting constantly because of the short fuel situations, are these guys going to practice that stuff so they don't make those mistakes?
Absolutely.
Well, we fully expect them to practice that. Couple of notes for you here on the way out. We will be back next week. Race number 5, the final chance for 3 more drivers to lock into the championship race. It'll be the following week after that. 15 will race for a championship. 3 spots remain. So join us next week, same time, right back here to watch as 3 more guys advance their way into the final race of the season. Programming notes for you really quickly. No Ron Morris racing tomorrow as the championship was last Tuesday. We're taking about a 6-week break from Tuesday Night Thunder, so nothing doing there this week. We will be back for PGR this week, Thursday night on the Ghost Racing Network. Join Austin and Baker and potentially myself on the call. We'll see what happens with that. We're getting into Podium 500 season. Watch all that content. I know a lot of the guys you see on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Mondays are going to be in those heat races qualifying for a spot in that big event. Go support those guys. There's a ton of them racing. I know of at least 15 or 20 myself. I'm sure it's way more than that. So go support those guys. Go watch those events. And as we get into 500 season, plenty of special events coming. We'll give you more information on those as they come. Next Tuesday, I can tell you right now the plans are in the works for a special PGR event that I'm sure they'll talk about on Thursday, so I'll let them cover the details. But be ready for a Tuesday night race next week. And other than that, that's going to just about do it for our programming notes. We're so happy to have had you here tonight. It's been a great race tonight, another great race. Join us back here next week, and we'll wrap it up one more time. For my broadcast partners tonight, Matt Lee and Matthew Baker, my name is Dawson Wise. You've been watching the Hickory Racing Network.